Hello there, everyone. Today I'm here to share a few of my preparation strategies with you all. Um, through this channel, Chartered Studies, this channel has helped me a lot, so I thought of contributing towards it. Firstly, let me introduce myself. I'm Pujita Reddy, and I've scored 362 in CA Foundation in the last, that is July 2021 attempt. Today I'm going to answer a few of the questions which you might want to ask me, and what the creator has asked. Firstly, how did I score 360 plus marks? This I can contribute a lot to my classes also. I took classes from Masterminds. The academic director, who is CMSS Prakash, I followed his guidelines thoroughly, and that's why I could follow it. There are a lot of strategies which I'm going to share through this video, and I would tell you how I got 362 out of 400. Firstly, which material did I follow? I followed the coaching institute's material first, and then for accounts and economics, I strictly followed ICI material. I felt they are everything, because every question that's going to be asked, most of it is covered under the material itself. Accounts and economics, I followed ICI material, and when it comes to law and maths, I felt ICA material might not directly help you. When it comes to law, you may not understand everything just by looking at it, just by reading the material. My coaching institute helped me with that. I followed the institute's material. And maths, the number of MCQs and the formulas which are already given in the material, I don't think you can score 100 out of 100 or easily score. If you are really good at maths, you may score by just studying ICA material. But in case you're not that really good, you may go for the institute's material. The next question, how many times did you do revision? A lot many times, like maybe 3 or 4 times. My studying time, like classes ended by January beginning, the classes ended. January and February thoroughly, this was the time for first revision. Every chapter I read it. And the institute had also the coaching center which I had been going, the coaching institute actually, which has been conducting it has been conducting revision exams. So you study and you write exam, that was the first revision that I had. Later, after February till July, I had revised at least thrice maybe. So I had 4 times revision. The first revision was a thorough one. I like every point, every question I tried to solve. And the next revision which I did was for the lesser number of questions. I didn't practice all the questions because you will not be having enough time. So every revision, it is not compulsory that you have to practice all the questions. You have to scratch down the questions which you're sure of, and go only practice the ones which are tough or which you're not sure of. And what's the importance of MTP and RTP? They are really important actually. Firstly, the material which I had been practicing, it already had few RTP questions which were covered, and for the recent MTPs and RTPs which were released, I practiced them after 1 month before exam, like that I practiced them. And previous year question papers were also important. Sometimes it might be I've seen through previous question papers that the same questions which has been asked in MTPs or RTPs in the previous years might be asked in this the exam which we are going to write, final ones. So I think that's really important. It's really important to practice RTPs and MTPs. And if you don't have if you're doing self study, and I think the best way to practice MTPs and RTPs is MTPs especially, though not RTPs. MTPs, they can you should complete it within 3 hours, right? Before the exam, you can conduct yourself a pre-final and try to attempt the entire question paper. When it comes to RTPs, it will not be in the format of the exact final exam question paper, so you can practice them like normally. But when it comes to MTPs, you can conduct it as a pre-final. Okay, Then coaching or self-study. I took coaching from Masterminds Institute, which is in Guntur, Andhra Pradesh. So yeah, I went to coaching institute, not self-study. The coaching was done online for me. I took online coaching till December. Then for revision exams, I went physically in the college and I did it. Okay, how many hours did I study? Frankly speaking, in the initial days of CA Foundation, when I was attending classes, I didn't really spend the entire day on CA Foundation. um, I was apart from classes, I used to study for like 4 hours, and the rest of the time I used to do other works, whatever I had passion about, and all those things I used to do. But when from January, February, and the other, as the days were getting closer, I dedicated my entire day towards CA Foundation. And I was attempting 12th board exams also along with CA Foundation. But since there was syllabus relaxation in 12th board due to pandemic and all, I didn't really concentrate much on 12th. Luckily, the exams got postponed and then cancelled. I didn't focus on it at all. I focused a lot on CA Foundation. So if 12th or 12th class or board exams are not really your priority, I think don't dedicate more time on that. Dedicate more time of yours to CA Foundation. Not every time will the exams get cancelled, I know that, but I feel CA Foundation, getting good grades, I mean, passing in CA Foundation is a lot more important than, getting good grades in 12. They are not going to help you if you are really aspiring to become a CA. Okay, then the last question is important tips. Okay, so I'm going to give the important tips subject wise. Firstly, accounts. This subject I was really afraid of, but I really like this subject because if you're really slow at solving, or you may commit silly mistakes and all, this subject is really going to ruin your day, your paper, the whole entire CA Foundation, because this is the first subject that first paper that you're going to give. If you didn't write this well, then you may be upset, and you may show that impact on other papers as well. And moreover, the basics that you're going to learn in CA Foundation accounts is really important. When you get to CA Inter also, based on those basics only, you're going to learn other concepts also. Make sure that these basics are strong. So apart from problems also, try to be, if you're aiming 300 plus marks, make sure that you are good at theory also. Many of the students whom I've seen, like my friends and all, they try to skip the first chapter in ICA material, that is accounting and introduction. So don't skip it. If you're aiming for 300 plus, read the entire first chapter thoroughly. Sometimes there's a sub chapter in that called accounting glossary. Most of us, we ignore it. We take it light. But the thing is, in December 2021 attempt or December 2020 or January 2021 attempt, there was a question asked regarding this glossary. They gave 4 terms and you have to define those terms. It's okay, you can define it in your own words also, but you should know those terms. Even if you can't read the entire glossary, take the ones which you're not which has not been covered in any of the other chapters, like the capital commitment, deferrals and all. These terms will not be covered in the rest of the chapters, and you'll not be knowing the meaning also. If the same is asked in the exam, you may not be able to write it in your own words. But for the terms which you can write in your own words, like depreciation, amortization and all, I don't think you should really spend time. But if you have surplus time, try to read 10 glossary terms each day, if you're really aspiring for a rank or 300 plus marks and all. And the other chapters are also, sub chapters are also there in the first chapter. Read them. You may and you will get one theory question regarding that. That's really helpful. And also understanding them, it forms the basic. And for those who are trying for pass marks or for 60 plus, I recommend you to get really strong at problems, problematic part of accounts. Try to set timing. Most of us are really slow, including me. I'm really slow at solving the problems and all, and I commit silly mistakes like, well, using the calculator also I press the wrong number and the entire the result will be different, and such silly mistakes are also common. To avoid this, the best thing is practice, practice, practice. Keep practicing again, and make sure that for those who are really slow, I recommend you this one. See, totally you have 180 minutes to attempt the paper and 100 marks. That means for every mark you'll be having 1.8 minutes. So for every 10 mark question, you have to complete that 10 mark question within 18 minutes. That means while practicing, you should keep the time bar as 15 minutes. You should complete the problem within 15 minutes. And if you practice in this way, though in final exam sometimes the another question might be lengthy, which requires time. So if you are good enough to solve a problem in 15 minutes, you can spare the extra 3 minutes for the problem which is too difficult or lengthy. So while practicing, for time, every 10 mark questions it is 15 minutes, and for every 20 mark question, try to do it within 20 minutes. So this is how you manage time. And when it comes to exam, first 15 minutes you'll be given reading time. That's really, really important. Within that 15 minutes, you should be figure out which question you're going to take it as choice, and in which order you're going to answer the questions. The order in which you're going to answer the question also matters a lot. In my opinion, which is the best order, I'm going to present you the order. It actually depends on the person, it depends on you, but which sequence is best according to me, that I'm going to tell. Firstly, I'm going to answer the question which I'm really sure of, damn sure. That when I'm going to answer, I'm going to do it neatly with working notes and all. This forms evaluator's impression. He'll be having a good impression on your whole paper. But don't spend too much time on have to form a good impression on the evaluator, so let me do it too attractive, or let me write a lot of working notes. Don't waste time. Remember, you just have 1.8 minutes for every mark, so don't waste your time on single problem alone. And the next one is the first question you're going to do which you're sure of, and the second question which you're most sure of other than the first one. So these two you're going to do. And the third one, if you're aiming for 300 plus marks, and then the third question which you're going to answer is the difficult or lengthy one, because which are difficult or lengthy, if you try to solve it at the end, you'll be really tense because time won't be sufficient, and in that tension you might commit mistakes, and you'll be really those mistakes can cost you a lot. So if you try to do it in the third question, if you try to solve in third number, though you have exceeded time, you can the exceeded time which can be covered up by writing theory questions. Cut short your theory questions, write side headings and a little bit of theory, that's it. So when it comes to first compulsory question which will be given, which is usually of theory, that one you write it at the end because you can write it within a short time. So first one which you're sure of, second question you are going to write which is your second sure of, and in the third order you're going to write the question which is most difficult. But if you're just aiming for pass marks or 60 plus, my recommendation is that you put this difficult question at the end. I hope you understand. If you're aiming for 300 plus or something like that, write the most difficult or lengthy question in third order. If you're aiming just for pass or 60 marks and all, write it at the end. And the fourth question which you're going to write is the sixth question which is in the question paper. It is usually about company accounts, and there will be a theory question as subsection, sub question. See, the reason for this is, as your time get passed, and your tension will also increase. If you're doing problems at the end, you'll be in very tensed mental state, and you might commit problems. At this time, you can if you write theory, there are very less chances that you're going to commit mistakes. So the last question which you're going to write is the first compulsory question, which usually has theory in it. So let me repeat the order. First one, you're going to write the question which is which you are sure of that you are going to get correct answer, and the second one, the second most sure, third one, the difficult or lengthy one, and the fourth one, the sixth question in the question paper, which comprises of company accounts and the theory question, and the fifth question that you're going to write is the first compulsory question. These two, the last two questions will be theory questions. At the when the exam is going to end in the tense phase also, you can answer them comfortably without committing mistakes. Hope you understood. But if you're aiming only for pass marks or 60 plus in accounts, then you can put the third question which is difficult at the end. And one more fact that you have to remember is, be very careful while choosing which question you have to write. Make sure that you leave the difficult or the lengthy question as choice. Just don't, without reading the question paper, don't try to solve it. Read every question and the sub question. There are chances that you may read the first sub question in a question and you may know it, and you just don't blindly go write it. The second sub question might also be difficult, which you don't know. The first 15 minutes are really important. Make sure that you don't waste it. Spend that time wisely, and choose the questions which you have to write, and choose the order in which you have to write also. This is regarding accounts. And yeah, don't compare your answers immediately after the exam. This is the first this is the first paper, and there are a lot of other three exams left. Immediately after the first exam, don't go comparing the answers with your friends or any solution released by any website or anything. Let all the exams complete. After that, you review your performance. Don't be in haste. This will cost you a lot. If you find that all the answers that you have written are correct, then you might get overconfident. You might not prepare well for the other exams also. And if you know that you have written it wrong, then you might feel low. You might be disappointed. In either way, it's not good that you go check your paper with the solutions given by any website or the answer suggested by your friend. So this is with in relation to accounts. Coming to law. Okay, and yeah, I forgot to tell you that in accounts I was really bad at it. I practiced a lot, that's why I could get 92. I hope you'll also try this, and you may also score good. I wish you good luck. And the next one is law. I think the how you score in law mainly depends on how many times you revise and how you present also. Make sure that you present well. A lot many times when I've seen my seniors papers, certified copies, I've seen that those who have presented systematically, point wise rather than in paragraphs, have scored a little better than those who have written in paragraphs wise, clumsy. Even if your handwriting is pretty bad, try to write it neat. Good handwriting and neat handwriting are different. You might, even though you may have bad handwriting, try to represent it neat. When it comes to practical cases or case laws, how to present it is present in 3-step manner. If the question is for 4 marks or above, then present the answer in 3 phases. 4 marks or above, the answer it should be presented in this manner. First, you write the provision, then analysis of the case, and then conclusion. And write the provision, analysis, conclusion. Okay, coming to law, the case laws and practical questions present in 3-step manner: provision, analysis, and conclusion. And the words provision, conclusion, and analysis, write it in capitals and draw a box. Don't waste your time in taking the scale and analyzing, underlining. Just take your pen, put a rectangle around it with pen. That's enough. Present it neatly. It matters a lot. When it comes to law, it takes really long time to revise everything and everything. So don't worry if you couldn't revise everything. Go priority wise. First, you just, in my case, I went first with Sale of Goods Act, then Partnership, then Companies Act. Like that, importance wise, I revised everything. And the day before exam, you might not revise everything. Don't worry. not everyone can't revise everything. It might happen due to shortage of time. Just go priority wise, and before starting your preparation, plan it. Otherwise you may be in a notion that you may complete the syllabus, but you won't be able to. You may spend 2 or 3 hours on a considerably less important chapter and waste a lot of time. Avoid it. Write down the number of hours you're going to allot for each chapter and start preparing, especially for before the day, a day before exam. If you don't plan, you spend a lot of time in the first few chapters, and at the end you have no time to revise everything, and that's how you're going to ruin everything. This is about law, and also many people try to write sections also. I wrote few sections too, sections in case laws. Try to list down all the sections in a paper, and keep revising the same. If it's in your handwriting, it's easier to remember, so write them on a paper and keep revising. And while writing the exam, if you don't remember a section, don't go for worrying about you didn't write sections, because that's not really compulsory. And don't quote wrong section also. And if you don't remember the section, or if you're confused between this section or that one, and you might feel bad that okay, I've prepared so many sections, so much time for learning these sections, and if I'm not going to present them in exam, that's the all the hard work that I've put, it's going to waste. And in that haste, you're going to write a wrong section and all. Don't do that. It's okay, even if you're prepared and you couldn't present all the sections, that's not an issue. Don't write a wrong section. And that's about law. And next, going through for BCR, business corresponding reporting. It mainly depends upon your planning, how you do it, and also on your language also. If you're not that really good in grammar and all, it's okay, don't worry. You can follow a few simple tricks and score good marks also. Firstly, comprehension passage. Most of y'all may read the passage and go to the questions and then come to find. But if you're lacking time, you don't have enough time for answering, then what you can do is read the questions. And for comprehension passages and all, first you may go through the questions. If you're lacking time, first go through the questions for comprehension passages, then go for the passage. And while reading, if you remember the questions, and if you find the point relevant to that, underline it. And you shouldn't underline it, sorry. Just note it down, and then you can copy and start answering like that. If you read the passage and then come to the questions, again go to the passage for searching the answer, it might take a lot of time. That's my suggestion. Always try to answer law before BCR, because in BCR you might have to write reports, letters and all, which if you start writing with them, you may considerably spend a lot of time answering them alone. You may spend a lot of time answering them alone. And when you come to law, then again you'll lose time. You won't have time to answer all the questions. But when it comes to report, if you, even while answering reports and all, report writing and all, and you don't have time, it's okay. You can write something that strikes to your mind immediately, and go on writing. And when it comes to synonyms and antonyms, you may try to prepare 10 synonyms and antonyms every day. You can find a list in online or any other material also. Prepare them, and this might also improve your vocabulary. And that actually depends on your literature knowledge also. It's okay if you couldn't answer, but if you're sure of the answer for that synonym antonym question, try to write them first. Then the evaluator who is going to correct it, he'll be in an opinion that you are good at this, writing this, so he'll give marks. And while coming to report again, okay, since you have answered the previous questions correctly, he might not go through every line in the report, and he might just give you marks like that. This is about BCR. When it comes to math, stat and all, keep revising the formulas again and again. And my opinion is that you can't solve all the questions right before the exam, or before your pre-finals or anything. You can't revise it again and again. So during your first revision, try to round the questions which you are which are difficult, which are twisty, or which requires you remembering some facts or anything formula, or the formula is different, or the problem is too complex like that, which you couldn't solve in the first time. And the next time you revise again, round a few again if you find. And by the end of the session, by the before the exam, just revise the formulas, solve the problems which you have rounded. You can hardly find around like 15 problems per chapter, and you can easily solve all of them before exam. And statistics also, don't ignore the theory. Most of the times based on theory about origin and scale and all those things, you might be questioned. And coming to logical reasoning, compared to competitive exams, others you face, I feel the questions which are asked in logical reasoning in the CA foundation exams are comparatively easy. You need not worry. You can solve a few of them from other sources or ICA material. Thankfully, syllogism is not there, I guess, from December attempt. That's a little confusing and tricky chapter. And coming to economics, strictly prepare ICA material. Most of the times, the question is asked by taking a sentence right from the ICA material and giving a blank and four options. So read the material again and again, so that the the sentences, the meaning, everything, it's saved. It's remembered by you. And around, I can find at least 40 economist names, which you can 40 or 30 economist names which you may come across the economics material. Try to list them all in a paper. Discuss with your friends. Keep revising it again and again, because it's really important. If you see from previous attempts, and also in our attempt also, there is at least one or two questions which are asked about the economists, about and their definitions and the theories with whatever they have propounded. So make sure that you list them. Okay, Adam Smith, what did he say, and which theory did he give, which book did he write, and when did he write. All these things you list them in a paper, and keep revising that regarding economics. And when it comes to BCK, many of us students, we feel business organizations chapter as difficult one. Sometimes Forbes rankings also might be asked. I recommend you to just remember the first 10 rankings of Forbes and Fortune 500. That's enough. And remember the CFOs and other basic questions, and read everything again and again, and make sure that you're learning the updated information about business organizations. ICA keeps updating it either through magazines or whatever. Make sure you're updated with those. Learn them again and again. Interact with your friends regarding that. You can learn one business organization per day, and your friends, you can ask question among yourselves. And in the if you find do these things, and you might find that learning that chapter easy and interesting also. And that's are all the suggestions that I felt like should be shared with you all. And thank you everyone. Good luck.